Here is the list of top 5 most bizarre, most interesting and famous real reincarnation stories. Now let's start. Number 5. Child reincarnating. This is based on a story shared in the Epoch Times by a woman whose 3-year-old son referred to his biological father as his new daddy. Now, this was of course strange in itself. However, what makes this story really strange is that fact that when asked to elaborate, he said that he likes his new daddy because his old daddy was mean and killed him by stabbing him in the back. Number 4. The Child and Grandpa. This story builds on the eerie nature of the previous one. Gus Taylor's grandfather Rogie had passed away a year before his birth. However, when he was just 18 months old, he made claims that he was his own grandfather. This could initially be written off as a child's wrapped perceptions of the self. However, things then took a turn towards the inexplicable. Angie's sister had been murdered several years prior, and her body has been dumped in the San Francisco Bay. No one had ever mentioned this in the presence of Gus, being the 18-month-old child that he was. However, he knew about all the details of this case. The strange and wonderful thing about both these cases is that they are dependent on the narrations of children clearly too young to have a strong enough understanding of the supernatural, enough for them to bother concocting such a story. Number 3. The Fighter Pilot Child. This is another extremely fascinating and strange theory because of its reliance on a child who clearly seems to know way more than he should. At a very young age, James Leninger started narrating his love for fighter planes. That is nothing strange. Lots of young boys love toy planes. However, this was different because he could go into extreme specifics of how a fighter plane worked. So much so it left his parents startled by his wealth of information. They did not know much about planes. Eventually, he started having nightmares in which he would picture himself dying and being shot down by a plane with a red sun on it, a Japanese plane. Not only that, he even told them the name of his plane, Corsair, and the boat from which it launched, Natoma. Both these names were verified, along with his own alleged name in the past life, James Houston. Number 2. The Child Detective. Another in the series of strange past life stories by children. This one is about a 3-year-old child from the Golan Heights who led the police to the house of the man who murdered him in his past life. He belonged to the community of the Druze, a community that believed in reincarnation and believed that birthmarks were indicators of how one had died in an earlier life. In this case, the child had a long birthmark on his skull, which he said was the area the blade of the axe had penetrated. His story was verified later when he really did lead the police not only to the house of the killer, who eventually confessed, but also to the burial spot of his past life avatar. The body was found beneath a pile of stones with an X wound exactly the shape and position as his birthmark. After hearing about these famous reincarnation stories, I'm sure we all would be skeptical about any birthmarks in our body. Number 1. The Mother Child. This is another famous reincarnation stories which was shared in the Epoch Times about a girl child whose grandmother has passed away a year before her birth. One of the first things to ever come out of her mouth, according to her father, was, "I am your mother."